So I'll make you a little bitty video peek so you can see why I like this book. It starts off with Ecclesiastes. These are the chapters. So there's actually a good time to prune and transplant and plant and everything. The heavens tell us when the best time for all of it is. So I'm going to show you, and even has best times for surgery, fishing. And I really, truly believe this is biblical, even though, you know, I think that we've forgotten that this is biblical. But anyway, canning, freezing, drying. There's definitely a clock in the heavens. It's even got some natural repellents for different bugs. Hold on, there's one last thing I was trying to share with you. I do go by this too, like barren signs. I guess it's like in one. Yeah, here's a planting guide. This is what I was wanting to show you. There's different moon phases for different things. And the reason why you'll always see a lot of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces is because those are water signs. And I'll just explain to you that the simplest way is you have to learn the different elements. There's water, fire, earth, and air. And the easiest way to explain it is like if you have a double fire, like if the sun and the moon are both in a fire sign, it's going to be a really hot day. If the moon and the sun are both in a water sign, it's more likely to rain. If the moon and the sun are both in an air sign, it's more likely to be super windy. And if the moon and the sun are both in an earth sign, you'll probably get an overcast day. So just to sum it up, whenever, okay, the planets and stuff, they always go through a certain order. And it's not necessarily these exact symbols. This is Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius. I just have them memorized from doing this since I was 12. But the order is always the same of when the elements will be. I'll show you on this Mazzaroth calendar, actually. Maybe that'll be easier. So, like, this is Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio. Okay, here's Aries and then Pisces. So Aries is the first one. We're in the sign of Aries right now. It's a fire sign. And then next will be Taurus. It's an earth sign. Then next is Gemini, which is air. And the next is Cancer, which is water. So it's going to go fire, earth, and then air, and then water. And the reason why this is significant for learning how to plant and harvest is because fire brings the heat needed to germinate seeds. They need the warmth. That's why a lot of the times with your seeds, to germinate them, you'll put a heating pad underneath them. Then Taurus brings the overcast days. This strengthens the roots. This is where the foundation of the plant is being created and focused. All the plant energy goes from the seed opening to rooting. Then you get the windy days brought on by the air element. This is causing the leaves to grow and the stem to gain strength because the wind pushes on the stem, even of a tree, and it strengthens that stem. Then you get the water, which produces new growth. So it repeats this cycle over and over. Then again, you'll have another fire sign, Leo. Then you have another earth sign, Virgo. Then you have another air sign, Libra, and you have another water sign, Scorpio. And then it does it another time. So it'll always go fire, earth, wind, and water. Fire, earth, wind, and water. Fire, earth, wind, and water. And you'll see these cycles this pattern every single year. And this helps us know when to plant because, like, for instance, just recently we've been getting a lot of rain this week, and I love to plant seeds and transplants outside when I know that it's more likely to rain, because when you first put a transplant or a seedling out in the dirt, you at least want to keep it moist for 1 whole week. And so if it rains and I'm watering it in between the rains, it's guaranteed that it's gonna thrive and it's gonna do really well. So I do actually go by this. And I gave you kind of the quickie version of it because it's not always gonna line up so perfect where the sun and the moon are in the same sign, like I said. And see, the easy way to show that this is true too is like you'll get a new moon in Leo in the summer, and that's usually like the hottest time of the year. And Leo's a fire sign. So you also, close to when Sukkot is, it's around when, like, towards the end of Libra, when it's getting into Scorpio. Scorpio is like end of October, early November. There's usually a lot of rain. That's a rainy season. June is a rainy season, and that's when it's in Cancer, sorry. And then also end of February, early March is a rain season, and that's Pisces. But during Sukkot, if we do it according to the new moon like that, like the way that you and my husband are doing the lunar solar Sabbath, every Sukkot will end with the moon being in Cancer. And Cancer is a water sign, and it brings the rain. And that goes according to scripture that if you're doing Sukkot properly, there will be a latter rain at the end of Sukkot. So I'm like so excited and glad that you asked that question, because I love this stuff. So let me know if you have any other questions. And I guess the last thing that I'll tell you is, like I said, you're gonna not always have it lined up perfectly. So what happens if you get a mix of elements, right? Instead of it both being in a fire sign, the sun and the moon, you might have, let's see, the sun might be in Aries and the moon is in Gemini. So you have a hot, windy day. It's only when they're both in the same that it'll be like an excess of that energy, because they're both bringing it. So you could also have, let's say the sun is in Aries, which is a fire sign, but the moon is in Taurus. Taurus usually brings overcast days, and Aries brings a hot, sunny day. So what happens is the energies kind of clash and kind of cancel each other out in a way, and you might have a partly cloudy day. And this is, again, this is also still not exact, because there's other planets that have to be taken into consideration, and that's where it gets really advanced, because you might have Uranus, which is the planet controlling electricity. So that, if there's like, and then Neptune also has to do with rain as well. So if you have Neptune and the moon and the sun, it could even be in a fire sign, but then maybe it's aspecting Uranus and it's bringing a sunny day, but there's still rain and like thunderstorms. And I've seen days like that where like the sun's shining, but there's these heavy dark clouds, and it's like, what's going on? It almost seems like a bipolar type of weather, right? So you'll see things like that, and it kind of explains it in a way when you realize that it's multiple elements at play. So I hope I kind of got you interested, but I do really recommend that book that I shared with you. So let me know if you have any other questions.